thank you for the intro on that. Appreciate it. Like you said, I'm the co-pilot side of it. So I'm Nick Conrad. I'm from Pax8. We're a strategic partner of Networks Plus. And my role is a Microsoft Solutions Consultant. So just want to start out with thanking everyone for coming in today. Thank you to the Networks Plus team for asking me to present on the Microsoft co-pilot side. At Pax8, whenever we start a presentation or anything, we have to introduce ourselves with the fun or interesting fact. Done a lot of these, like he alluded to, I love picking up random small things, so I have a couple that I'll start with. I can ride a unicycle and juggle at the same time. I was a competitive mobile skier for 13 years. And then probably my favorite one that I think usually gets the biggest reaction is that my granddad was the third person to walk on the moon. So he was the captain of Apollo 12, kind of the forgotten one. Falls in between two pretty big missions there, 11 and 13. But yeah, so that's what I find interesting fact, something that we always do, and wanted to bring it out and make sure it's not here with everyone else. So on the agenda for today, I'll be covering the introduction to Copilot, some different product offerings that we have. Becoming AI ready, so what it takes to get there, going over the why, so why you want to get started with Copilot and how the product works, and then hopefully leave some time for questions and things at the end, or anything like that. But just before I dive into it or anything, I want to just get started with a little check-in. How many people are currently using an AI solution? How many are currently using Copilot? Okay, we have a pretty good group of people in there on that side then. Okay. So what is Copilot? Copilot is an AI-powered productivity tool built on the GPT, fully integrated into your office environment. So Copilot is the AI model. It comes in many different offerings, all with either like different end customers or different aspects of the Microsoft organization in mind. So there's the Copilot Chat, Copilot for Business, M365 Copilot, Copilot Studio. Those are the main ones that I'll cover, but then there's even more. There's Copilot for Sales, Copilot Dragon, Foundry. Again, each one of those is built and designed for a different purpose or a different area within the Microsoft, kind of with one cloud area. So Copilot Chat, kind of the intro. So if you're new to AI, just beginning your AI journey, and Copilot Chat is really the place to start. So it's the most accessible and impactful way to introduce AI into your organization. It's intuitive, it's easy to deploy, it's immediately useful, making it the perfect entry point for AI without any heavy investment. So it's your daily assistant. Daily assistant, help brainstorm ideas, draft emails, proposals, summarize documents, meetings, answer questions, or solve problems all in real time. It's available in a couple of different areas, so it's built into some of the applications on it, as well as Copilot for Web, so just the web-based chat version. So it's really where anyone can start using AI, no licensing barriers on that. Easy place to build confidence and familiarity before moving to some of the more advanced Copilot solutions like the M365 Copilot or Copilot Studio. Copilot Chat, so it's available to all Microsoft Edge users. If you have a Microsoft tenant login account, you have access to the free Copilot Chat. Chat does not automatically connect to your company's files and apps, so it's not grounded in the organizational content like files and emails. It's grounded in data from the web on that side. So Chat, again, ideal place to start. It's a great place to just use to refine, not replace your thinking, self-build on your daily work of activities and productivity. Once you're comfortable with the Copilot for Chat side, the next is going to be M365 Copilot. So same intelligent intelligent AI large learning model incorporated but built into the actual application. So built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint teams, having it all in a single, tool located in the and then like adding in contextual awareness to help building prompts, so it can help you, draft or summarize emails, utilizing emails and things that within it, analyze data in Excel based off of either that document or other documents that are already within your OneDrive, create and build presentations in PowerPoint, recap Teams meetings, get caught up on Teams meetings, which are a little late. So it's your AI-powered like coworker, knows all your files, calendar, your conversations, but it does it securely and privately while trying to increase your own productivity. So yeah, large language model built on top of existing applications, all that takes place within the compliance boundary of your organization, and then yeah, built to work and integrated into your actual applications and everything that you're using. Bit of a confusing slide on this one, but I wanted to go over the how Copilot works and everything, more like the infographic side of it. But a user will send the prompts into Copilot. Copilot will access the graph and the web, as well as any other services or API services on it. Copilot sends that modified prompt back to the LLM, large language model, and then it'll receive that response, accesses that information from compliance and purview side of it, so it's able to actually pull this data and give it to you and provide it to that user, and then it'll actually send the response to the user. So it's all done within the actual organization. The website is going to be external, but it all does a compliance check back when it goes in. And it'll return a recommended response back to the app so the user can review and access the data and change or add to the prompt, add more to it on that side. So then tie all back to your end, so your data at rest and during transit is encrypted, keeps your data safe and compliant, provides your admins the capability to manage your tenant data securely. So some of the Copilot offerings in market currently, like I said, there's Copilot Chat, M365 Copilot. The big one that's been out in a lot of market giving things, especially if you're searching online, you're looking for anything, is Copilot for Business. M365 Copilot and Copilot for Business are the same license feature-wise. Copilot for Business is the S&B license, so it's tied to a business level license, capped at 300 per tenant. It's priced much more competitively than the full M365. So it's a new offering this year. Same features and everything, more competitive price point, easier barrier to entry on that side. So yeah, looking at the lineup of it, I have some of these things, so I'll make sure that I get out to Network Plus and see them, but just a visual of what's included in each of the types. So Copilot Chat, all users, data sources of the web. You can provide additional context as needed on that. There's no documentation for everything. And business, Copilot for Business, and M365 Copilot. Same license in terms of features, just priced better for the SMB side of it. So same feature sets and everything. And that leads me into the next one, which would be like Copilot Studio. So for anyone that's ready to take Copilot stacks to the next level of it, Studio is going to be a nice, powerful way to tailor your AI to a specific business need. So it's a graphical, low-code tool for building agents and agent flows. So what are agents? These are a big thing when it comes to studio as well as any 365 Copilot. So you can think of an agent as like a smart digital team, teammate or digital assistant. Agents are like expert systems that surface in different channels. So it's included in like the background of Copilot. And you can bring many agents together into a simple like interface, so easy access, like say chatbot set. They can range from very, very simple to super advanced and autonomous ones. On like the simple end, you can find information like retrieval agents. So question and answering, ask this, Copilot will go find the answer, either from providing documentation that was already built into it, or it's just your inside website, so you give us an easy answer back on that. Moving up the scale, you can build agents that do tasks and take actions, so such as like fetching data from a data source or a PowerPoint file or a document in Excel, and then you can build in like multi-step automation using those flows to automate the process for it. And then on the more advanced end of the spectrum are the autonomous agents, so they operate independently. They're dynamically planning, they learn as they go, they can execute business processes, all without the support of a human, so they're fully autonomous built inside of the back end. Copilot is a tool, and to become comfortable using a tool requires some work and some practice and some trial and error. There's tons of information out there online. Microsoft has a bunch of information posted to help getting started with it. So if you're looking at building something or creating something yourself, because Copilot is so customizable, it's hard to give specific examples or use cases, but there's a lot of foundational work and things available already. This is just one that I pulled directly from the Microsoft site. It's a Copilot chat and agent starter kit. It includes resources such as like agent blogs or chat scenarios. So if you've never used it, and you prompt it, and you chat with Copilot or any large language model. Setup guides, control guides for the IT side, so more the technical side of it, how you want to get that implemented and rolled out. Really just great resources to get a better grasp of the understanding of the product and how to work with it to help increase your productivity. Like I was saying, because it's so customizable, it's hard to do a specific use case for every individual organization or like vertical that you work in, but knowing the foundational learning areas of how you can build and grow is kind of the key points of Copilot and making it work to increase your own productivity and make it best for yourself on that side. So, quick review on that then. So the Copilot chat, M365 Copilot, and Copilot for Business are the same, and then the Copilot Studio. So chat, again, is that entry point. It's grounded in the web using large language models. It's available to anyone with that intro login. M365 Copilot goes beyond just the chat and the large language model by fully integrating into Microsoft Graph. So that's going to be your documents or emails, calendar, chats, meetings, all the other relevant business data. And then it's fully personal app integrated with your assistant on that side. And then the last one, Copilot Studio, low code or no code personalized AI chat, building agents and building up your own custom chatbots side of it. So those are like the the main ones. Again, there's a lot of other different Copilot ones, but they're all built around large language models and tailoring them to specific applications. So how do you prepare for adopting or starting to utilize an Copilot is the big security side of it. The Copilot only has access to what the user has access to. So, Nick, in sales, if I want to go in on Copilot and say, hey, can you pull up the, financial documents of, all the executives and list them from, the highest paid to the lowest paid. With the right protections and policies in place, I don't have access to any of that stuff. Copilot would be able to maybe view it, but because I don't have access, it's not going to say any of it. If our executives are looking at that, they have access, they'd be able to pull. So it's all based on what you already have access to and what's available within the actual organization and your tenant. So expanding on the business strategy side of it, so things to think about before rolling out AI goals. So like, what are your organization's goals for using AI? What pain points can you address? Biggest goal would be no more work, and that does it all. Can't get to that point yet. You gotta start small, maybe rolling it out to a few trusted users, see what impacts they can find on their daily tasks, maybe looking up different bottlenecks in the organization, and seeing where AI can unblock some of those or free up some time for individuals on it. Capabilities, what are your organization's current capabilities in terms of AI? The answer is none. Just tokenized AI is being adopted at an incredibly fast rate right now. So getting started at any time is really going to put you ahead of the others. But making it tailored to your own organization is going to be key on that, so that you're not overextending yourselves and you're giving yourselves the ability to utilize the product without paying for something that is, the free version that you use on it. Data strategy, so does your organization have a data strategy in place? So this is big, and Copilot is only as good as the information it can pull from. So how confident are you that the documentation in your organization or your SharePoint or everything is up to date? Who has access to all of that information in there? How do you clean that data up so that it is pulling the most relevant and recent data for everyone? And that infrastructure side, can you support the necessary infrastructure to build out any AI once on the studio side? If you're integrating it with your own personal apps, making sure that everything is going to work well and flow well together. So then we have the business strategy side of it. For AI and whatever the business strategy is now, like the unified security. So security, like secure access is going to be the big piece with that. So assets and data risks associated with employees, information, that's not, so secure access. So thinking back to me, I'm searching Copilot and saying, hey, I want to pull financial information or anything from what we have. As an organization, as long as my security controls are in place where I as a sales individual don't have access to that, Copilot is not going to be able to provide that out. So if there is something that comes in, having that secure side of it first is going to be the big key there, making sure data doesn't get out where it should be. Protecting the sensitive data, after understanding the various organizations can implement controls to safeguard the data. Do this by either establishing labels, data loss prevention, or like TLP policies, help mitigate the risk of like oversharing or data leakage. And then on the Microsoft side as well, all of the user interactions with Copilot are logged. So it's enabling organizations to review activities and identify potential risks, gives you that tracking abilities on that. That leads us to like the governance side as well, making sure if you ever do need to see what happened or what was pulled, you have tracking logs and everything that can be pulled for all of that information. Identity access, so Jake spoke about this too at the beginning. Identity access is a integral part of getting ready for Copilot or just AI in general. Inadequate identity and access management really hinder the integration of AI solutions. They're leaving areas open for like compromised data integrity or concerns about privacy or regulatory compliance. Making sure that everything is set up and you have the right resources in the right place at the right time is going to be that big piece of locking down those individual users. So some of the big organizational challenges that I see is really going to be around like identity over sharing. So this comes to users, having or attempting to access like sensitive information through other AI apps, not being able to track the usage of different AI products that are out there. Pulling it in on the Copilot side, we have all that. It's all internal. So you're not pushing data out to a different product. We don't know maybe where some of that's going to go. These are like those data risks of using ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, anything like that. The concern with those is, Jake saying that it's in the headlines, it's out there, people are working to steal that information and everything, so making sure that those controls are built in helps reduce a lot of those data risks. And then non-compliant usage, that's more along the lines of like the generating like new or fake content on it, like the unethical side of it, like fake news, fraudulent content, stock manipulation, things like that. Making sure that the AI usage and everything that you have internally up to date, so that you're not getting any of that incorrect data or illegal type of information. From my side, I really like to take, I've had Copilot basically since it came out, and I like to turn it into a little game and challenge it a little bit. I'm very knowledgeable like the Microsoft licensing side of it, and if you're using Copilot chat, data source is the web, and we all know everything on the web is true, so fact checking yourself on that is a good way to make sure you're utilizing the tools, but you're also making sure that the tools are working for you and not providing incorrect or false data. Data management side of it. So building up a correct data management policy is going to be a big key to rolling out AI, especially within Copilot. There's the data management involves like the collecting, preparing, or integrating of the data to allow your AI solutions to perform at their best. So having consistent, updated data either within Teams or SharePoint or wherever you're storing or accessing the files, whoever has access to those files is set up the right security groups and policies for it. That you have a policy or a process that's in place to make sure that everything's in the right area, no one is overextending what they have access to, and you're setting up those different roles for individuals to make sure that they have access within the organization so that it's not being incorrect data pieces. And then the data orchestration, sorry, just talked about all that, sorry. So the big piece then, now moving forward, so why does this matter to you? Why Copilot? What features does it add and benefit to you? So it's huge in the market right now. It's scaling. It's affordable for SMBs. Microsoft Copilot projected to see an increase of 353% ROI over 3 years, with 76% of SMB workers using AI tools, raising all the way up to 86%. So it is big, being used, constantly being worked on. Get in early so that you're up to date on it, and you're able to utilize the features and new processes best to maximize your productivity. So we see like an enormous opportunity to use AI to create new ways of working. So they make sure you're tight budgets, lean teams, something like that, utilizing the users and the resources that you have to maximize your back end. Adding AI is going to be a place that you can do that. Not hiring an employee, cut back on time from things, and increase the productivity of users, and get the most relevant and new, best data possible out there, and just help individuals do their job in a better way. Alright, so this is more of the fun informational side of it. We can utilize Copilot, how we can use it. So impacts of Copilot based on various job roles. This is one that I see a lot of, or say a lot of that from like who can utilize Copilot within an organization. So on the business owner side of it, Copilot can streamline operations by automating routines, accelerating their ability to digest large amounts of data, allowing owners to focus on the strategic decision-making process and the growth opportunities. So overall, just like enhancing their business efficiency and productivity. So like from a marketing manager side of it, benefits of Copilot, ability to analyze market trends and customer data, creating targeted marketing campaigns, optimizing content, measuring campaign effectiveness, all leads to a more informed marketing strategy and improved ROI. The sales rep side of it, so sales reps can leverage Copilot to manage their customer relations more effectively, assist in tracking sales activities, forecasting sales, potential leads, note taking. Sales guys are very go, try to get it. So having something that they can go back on and track recent calls or follow up the action items that they've missed. It's a great tool to be able to look through and find what you missed or help you move forward with one of your deals. Financial analyst side of it. So Copilot provides some advanced data analytics, visualization tools. So it helps in generating accurate financial reports, forecasting trends, identifying risks, and just enabling better financial planning for all like the decision-making side. So just some general areas where I see a lot of who would be impacted by it, how they would utilize the Copilot offerings, and increase their own productivity side. So the framework, more like a workflow level, so not the application side of it, how would it impact your workflow. So effective meetings side of it, save time by quickly catching up on missed meetings, summarizing the next steps and action items, being able to focus on the actual meeting, not taking notes during the meeting, having something that you can fall back on at the end, really being present during that. Data analysis, so using Copilot to quickly gather information and insights from data sets. You can use this in Excel, maybe help create a graph, help do the financial documentation side of it. Content creation is just a fun one as well as a very relevant one. So how would you be able to utilize Copilot within PowerPoint to generate a presentation or build out a prompt or create certain images and things like that, utilizing it for increasing your own productivity side on that. And then the email processing, so somewhat easy piece of everyone's day, looking at emails, summarize my email, maybe you're out of office for a little while, can you take this trend or this whole email thread, summarize it down, prioritize who needs to reply, who hasn't been replied to yet, creating emails even, changing the tone, working through it on that side. So that'd be like the impact on the workflow side. The function side of it as well. So again, these are all just different pieces and different areas where Copilot fits into the organization and helps do your job in a better way. So say like on the HR side, draft job descriptions or policies and training material, either utilizing your existing job descriptions and maybe tailoring it to be, looking for, a level 1, now we're going to level 2, now we're going to level 3. So just taking what you've already built and instead of reinventing it, utilizing it to create, other content things, saving you time. Marketing side, create the first copy faster for it, so analyze data to identify relevant market trends, segmentations, just increasing it. sales side, increased deal close rate, having better sales conversations, proposals, presentations. And typically on the sales side, on the Microsoft side, we have some like my shortcomings from like note taking or follow-ups on it, or back-to-back meetings all day long, and barely remember my first call at 8 a.m. after trying to get the kids down for 3 hours and stuff, and being able to go in and just check my notes, like, oh, what did I talk about? Who did I follow up with? Area to go back and forth, just be on during the calls and not trying to take notes and manage it after the fact. IT side of it, so like coding assistance, writing scripts, analyzing why something is not working as intended. Availability to like view and analyze almost anything on that side, just see where you were incorrect or what issues, maybe you're just missing some things. It's an easy fact check place for that. And then same thing on the finance side as well. Simplify reporting, planning, analyzing data, identifying performance metrics, really just utilizing what you're already performing like tasks that you know in day, just trying to optimize it and close down any bottleneck areas. So some hands-on scenarios, I have a few different, just like general intro ones of like how you can utilize it within certain applications and everything. So you can ask, Copilot, like the really simple things like, summarize this chat in this email about, X customer. So the next milestone on this project, like you can prompt it for almost anything on that side. So I think, from the Word side of it, the Word, like Microsoft Word piece, if you're just sitting there staring at a blank document, trying to figure out where you want to start it, jump right in with Copilot will help get some of that info out. Just do your brain dump into the Copilot side and have it help you create that content and give you somewhere to start on it. Like an easy prompt on that would be like, can you draft a 2-page proposal based on the data from this document, so insert the document that you want into that, or this spreadsheet, or PDF, or blog posting, whatever it is. It'll give you that information, everything directly built off of that, and then you can continuously work with Copilot on it. So I want you to make that third paragraph more concise, or I want you to change the tone of this document to be a little bit more casual, or this is a very technical document. I want it to be clear out a lot of the fluff on that. Just build it out and create it however you're wanting to. So yeah, on the Excel side, analyze trends, create professional looking data, visualization like really quickly. I don't know how many times anyone else is in here, but always having to look up and remember the formulas or where to find it in Excel. Like easy places just to, hey, when I create a pivot table, can you give me a breakdown of this using this information? Simple examples and easy areas to just get started, because you get very in-depth on that side as well. So just being able to take what you're doing and add in some help, make your job a little bit easier. PowerPoint, low creativity, looking for a little bit of inspiration. Copilot can become part of that. Transform existing documents into a deck without having you have to go in and copy paste and move everything on it. You can just say, hey, Copilot, you take this outline that I made and create a 5-slide presentation. I want you to include relevant stock photos, or utilize our internal theme to generate this presentation. Once it's created, then you can go slide by slide as well and say, like this slide should be reformatted, or can you add additional context into this area, or help me, write what I should say about this slide and make sure it flows well into the next slide, the tone of it. Just building it in, working within all the different applications and everything. And then again, outlook 2, either clear our current box in a few minutes, not a few hours on that side. If you're out of office for a vacation and you make the tone sound a little bit more professional, maybe help draft an invite to get everyone out for a lunch and learn about the new product launches that are coming up. Just building that area of making things easier for you in your day and getting past some of the general blocks that a lot of people have. Yeah, so one of the key aspects of AI is like the prompt, so it's that initial interaction with the product. It can be very simple, start out with like, hey, can you create a one-page brief for the sales team based off of this document or off of this meeting that we just ran. Maybe it's on the team side of it, you join a team's call a little bit late, let's say your child refused to put his shoes on because he thought they were boots, not shoes, and now you're a little late to your meeting, and you just pop open Copilot, ask him to summarize the first 10 minutes of the call that you missed, immediately be caught up, you don't have to stop the meeting or anything like that. Definitely not something I've ever done, and really not been late to a meeting with any of those reasons. But yeah, so the prompting is one of the biggest aspects of Copilot. It's something that you have to continuously be working on. It's a skill that you build and you get better at it the more that you do it. To break down like the elements of a strong prompt to really get the most out of what you're doing, but put it into 4 points: the goal, the context, the source, and the expectations. So the goal would be setting clear and specific as possible with what you want, and be more precise with your goal. The more precise that you are with the goal, the better response you're going to get. So, for example, would be like, write me an article, 500-word article on this document. Instead of just, saying that, right, I need a 500-word document based off of this article. It is tailored to small businesses, and it's around the impact of AI and integrating it into our workflow. Just the more that you can give it, the more it will help in writing a reply, getting back to you, and giving you the most, best possible context for it. And so, yeah, so the context, yeah. Why does Copilot need the information? Who is it for? Any details that will influence the response. So for that, write an article that's 500 words long. You can then add in, for instance, this is a blog that is targeting entrepreneurs in the tech space as well. So you're going to get that context of who you're writing that blog document and everything for. The source, so including relevant sources to ensure that the response is grounded in the right information. So whether you're providing either links to studies or resources that you have, either documents or emails or anything, just providing it as much of that information as you can is also going to help give you the best reply that you can outline it. And then expectations, so set clear expectations for your results. Do you want it to be maybe a formal tone, or you want it to be bullet points, or in this example, a specific word count? Setting up the expectations up front is going to save a lot of time and reduce the need for revisions later on that side. One example of this, I have a buddy of mine that is a hiring manager, and he does interviews all day long, and we were just chatting one day and helped him come up with a prompt alongside recording all of his meetings. And we started with something simple, just recording the calls and asking Copilot to write down the answers that they're giving questions that they have for it. And then we started expanding. So we have the recording of the interview, we have their resume now, and now we're going to take the replies that person had, and we're going to compare it to their resume, make sure everything's lined up, check for any differences on things that they said, adding in, and after that section, you compare their answers to the most recent employees that were hired that also answered those questions. So how do they align with people that we decided to hire that are already in the organization? questions. Copilot's taking the notes on the back end for it. If he's jumping from one call to another, doesn't have to miss anything or say like forget something on it. Being able to go back and just track, and we were saving a couple hours of his day after we spent a few hours just writing and generating a prompt and just building it out, and he was able to actually spend a lot of time actually doing the interviews, being much more productive on them. But it all came down to how we decided to prompt it and how we decided to build it on that side. Yeah, that is the presentation and everything I have. I think we got some time for some presentations, some questions and everything. So, and everybody. Any questions?
Got something out there. There we go. This just takes one and then the flip goes. Yep.
Did Pete ever get an Apollo Corvette, and have you tried to find it?
Yes. So, fun fact about the Corvettes actually, they all have a flaw in them. And they all blew up at about 40,000 miles on it. And my granddad didn't drive this very often, so his is actually still the only one that's there. It's somewhere in Florida. I don't know exactly when that was the last time I found it. It's somewhere down in Florida.
And then about inadvertent leaks on Copilot one mundane. When you mentioned inadvertent data leaks, how does that happen in our environment? If we're on Spirit Cloud, Microsoft, VPNs?
So on the inadvertent leak side from how I'm looking at it is storing information and everything within like SharePoint. If it's not set to a certain security group or different area of it, if it's just available to available organization wide, but maybe it's not a link to it or something that's not available on SharePoint. If it's technically available for a user to have access to, Copilot will have access to that. So making sure that you have those policies and things in place so that it doesn't allow users that are not supposed to have access to information, a place where they're locked down and they can't actually view it.
We got another one right there.
Hi, Mel. What do you do if your data gets into where you don't want it to go out to the public? Is there anything you can do to retrieve it back out of there, or is it gone forever?
It's a little bit gone at that point. The best piece is taking it down and trying to remove it if you can, but not letting up is the best way to make sure that that doesn't happen. And that comes down to more of like training the individuals on, if you are going to use a non-integrated app or your own individual one, that if you are utilizing it, you're not putting any money into it. It's just using it for certain times. You're not plugging in our Excel docs or our internal documentation into that. Even if it is, hey, we lock it down, we don't do that. It's not integrated in. You don't have the control once it's out of your organization.
You want the mic, Cornell?
There we go.
You don't have to stand, but it's okay.
Being familiar with ChatGPT, that's what I'm familiar with. What's the comparison? Obviously, Copilot works together with all the software as far as the Microsoft software. What are the benefits on both sides? And is one quote better than the other? It seems obviously that's more business related. Chat seems like you can use for everything.
So Copilot is built off of ChatGPT, GPT-4 and 5. So the language model on the back end is the same for it. Where Copilot comes in is it's tied into the organizational side. If you're using the Copilot for web piece of it, I'll go back to this one here. It's all within the tenant and what Microsoft has their own security policies and everything on. So even if it is going out to Copilot for web on that, before it's pulling and showing you the data or pushing anything external, it's checking your own internal policies and your purview of compliance policies on it, and keeping it within the organization and under your control. If it's just going to ChatGPT, you can get the reply and same responses and everything for it, but it's outside of the organization already at that point for it. So use case wise, it is like on the back end, it's the same. It's just built and tailored directly into the Microsoft side of it and what your organization already has access and utilizing.
There we go.
I would be very new to this, but my question would be, we were talking about like you guys spent a couple hours creating these prompts to help with his interviews and stuff. How or where do you save those prompts? Like how often does he have to ask those, initiate those every single day, or does it just automatically start doing that?
So there's a few things, like you can, like, on this one, so you can have, this would be like just a general like Copilot place for it, so there's a word or work and a web tab for it, but you can create a prompt and have it written like the library of this is my, interview doc where it says, take this recording and then you'll input the recording and then add in the resume, like you'll put in that information into it, but the general outline of the prompt and everything can live either just in that like a library tab of prompts or I know like from my side, I've worked with a lot of the other Microsoft reps to get like a shared document of here's a prompt that we've used and like all the version histories of it as well. So that's something that we can share across everyone, but if it's just my own, it's going to be sitting in there and I'll just have it in my library of that. You can get more advanced with it too, where you create like a persona for it as well. So hey, Copilot, you are my interview assistant, and so then the next time I come into Copilot, I'll say, hey, interview assistant, and it already knows now, okay, this is my role type that I have for it. So you can dictate different things for it in your own side of it, and that's on the individual side though.
I also tweet a little bit on that about schedule prompts, right? Because if you have a prompt that you're going to use, like I have a personal prompt that goes, hey, every morning at 2:30, scour the internet, pull AI news and cybersecurity news, and give me your report every morning. So I do that once, and every morning it's going to do that prompt for me, and then shoot me an email with the results of it every morning.
You run the prompt every day, I mean, you say.
No, I wrote the prompt once, and then and then there's a button up there that you can say schedule prompt run every day at 8:30, and then at 8:31 I get an email that says, hey, your prompt ran, here's the results. It's another feature.
Would that be an agent at that point?
It would be an agent at the, because the prompts are slightly different than an agent. A scheduled one is similar to an agent, I would say, but an agent is more specific to an individual use case or a task that is being ran. You can create agents in your own Copilot, like personal side of it, but then like Copilot Studio is going to be more like organization-wide type ones. So if it's on an individual side, it would be similar to like an agent piece, but if it's like the organization side, that would be different than just a prompt.
We have a training manual that's about 300 pages, it was 3 years in development. I want to turn that into an agent so they can just query that instead of pulling this document up and look at it. Do they have to have a full Copilot license to access that document, or can you do it with chat?
You can do it with chat, but they would have to put the document into it. So the free version of it, they would have to put it in for that. The problem with that is it's not going to actively read the entire document beforehand. So you would have to do it in like snippets of that document. But if you built the agent on your side, like with a Copilot Studio piece for it, you could use that as an organization-wide thing. So you wouldn't have to license every individual user. You just create that single agent based off of that and using that document as the data source for it. And then you only license just a single license within the organization and not every individual user for it. So,
Yeah.
correct.
Any other questions?
So my question how do you protect personal business information when you're going out to the web, either on Copilot or chat?
On the Copilot side, as long as it's in the organization, Microsoft is not going to push anything extra for it. It'll pull information in for it on the website, but it's not going to push your information out externally. If you're using a third party like ChatGPT, it's already outside, so if you're putting data into it, then it's left your organization side of it, so it's out there at that point. Copilot was designed and built to be able to maintain all of your data organization within your area, and not having to go out and say, hey, let's take this financial document, I want you to review it and help me analyze it. You have to put it externally to do that with a different product versus Copilot will keep and maintain everything within your organization for it.
So what you're asking for that needs outside access to the web, how does it protect your information?
So it will pull data from the web and pull it into the organization and then use what you have inside to do it. So it doesn't take your stuff external and say, hey, can you analyze this or do whatever with it. If it needs something external from the web, it's going to take it and pull it in first. It doesn't have to leave.
Do you have to specify what you want it not to allow?
It won't leave, if you're using Copilot, it won't leave the organization. Like Microsoft policies won't allow it to be pushed externally. If you're using the Copilot chat, then you can dictate it, but it's based off of the sensitivity labels that you put on the document. So if you have a Word doc that is labeled as internal and you put it into just the Copilot chat, it's not going to allow it. Say they're not allowed to do this, basically. So it has back checks on itself to do that.
Hey, I don't really have a big question, but I just wanted to make a comment. This conversation feels very positive, which is great. But you had mentioned GitHub, Copilot, Autoblocks activity. But there was multiple exploits last year where GitHub Copilot can delete its logged logs. And another comment with data escaping, all LLMs are susceptible to all the OWASP top 10, which includes things like prompt injections, which have multiple times been proven to interact with C2 command and control activity. And if I paste a link and ask it to summarize it, and there's a prompt injection, or one of the really cool ones is emoji injections, which most LLMs are 99% of the time susceptible to. So, I do think from a security perspective, there's a lot more to consider besides the great parts of setting up Copilot appropriately. So, yeah, that was just my 2 cents.
Yeah, the security aspect of it is the key piece. That's what I was saying. If you're going to start, you're going to roll it out, security should be the key focus on how you want to set it up before you roll it out.
Yeah, I just want to ask, since you said that the Copilot should be used within the organization, and the organization access your customer interaction with the chat.
Sorry, repeat that, Karen.
I said, can the organization access your customer interaction with the chat?
Can the organization access the individual users' chats? If it's in the work side, yes. On the web side, the organization doesn't have access to it. The individual user would have their previous chat histories. I don't know what the exact retention policies on it. I know you can set the retention policies for it. On the work side, yes. On the web side,